everybody, welcome back. Today we are joined by Melody. Would you like to introduce yourself, Melody?
Hi guys, I'm Melody from Melody the Vet on Instagram. I am a recently graduated vet, graduated
Woo!
in July, and yeah, living in Australia. That's about it.
Nice. So where did you graduate from?
The Royal Vet College in London.
Gosh, so how did you end up in Australia?
So basically, I used to live here back in 2008 for 6 years before that, and then I moved around because I'm originally from Switzerland and ended up in London, and then met my boyfriend who's actually also from nearby where I lived in Australia. And so then I moved back to be with him, and also I was going to move back to Australia anyway, so it kind of worked out that way.
Perfect. Yeah, you can hear like all your different twangs in your accent, hey?
I know, it's a bit of a muddled mess.
Yeah, well, not a mess, it's nuts. But yeah, I feel like people would definitely be like, I don't know where she's from when you listen to the accent.
American's the one I get most, but I've gotten like Irish like over 10 times.
So. True, I can see that. I can hear that anyway. Not that I really know what Irish people sound like, but we'll roll.
Yeah. It's I don't think a lot of people do. That's why I get it.
True. They're like, I don't know what that is, Irish. Makes sense. So I think we'll kind of like focus more this interview on you being a new grad, but I know that a lot of people like to know kind of study methods to get them through vet school. I know I definitely like to hear how people studied so I could kind of figure out how to adjust my studying so that I could get the most out of it.
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite study method?
Yeah, definitely. I think group studying is the best one, just because you like can teach people, and I learn really well by teaching people because I realize what I don't know. If I'm like floundering and telling somebody something and I'm just kind of like making stuff up, then I realize that and I'm like, oh, I have to go over that. Whereas you can really, if you can teach someone something, then you know what you're talking about, you know? So group studying is really good, and also cue cards. I am such an advocate for cue cards for like those multiple choice questions and stuff where you can just like bang them out, just like flip through them and do as many as you can in a little time.
Definitely. In terms of studying with people, were there some people that you knew that you definitely couldn't study with because you'd end up just chatting too much, or how did that work?
I guess I'm quite like an extrovert, so I end up chatting a lot anyway, but I like that because it keeps you sane. But there's definitely like some people just don't mesh well with other people, which is fine. Like you get along with them, but your study styles don't work together. Like if you're a visual learner and somebody else is more of like a word learner, then you're not going to be able to really mesh together learning style wise. It's like living with people. Like you can be best friends with somebody, but you can't live with them because you just aren't compatible.
Yeah, totally. Fully understand that. Now that you are out of vet school, very exciting that you've made it and you've been working as a real life vet. Like, oh my gosh, Dr. Melody, what?
I know, it's pretty crazy.
So cool. Literally, you had to change your Instagram, didn't you? You had a different name.
Yeah, I think I like changed a little bio thing. It was like a big day. I got my results. I was like, doctor.
I love it. How did it feel to be a new grad?
Pretty crazy. Like I don't think you like realize until you're working, because I didn't work for a fair while. I think all my friends had been working for 3 or 4 months, but I kind of went home for a bit and then I went to Australia and I was like, oh, I'll just spend a few months just enjoying life. And so I've only been working for 5 months now, but it's like it's quite surreal, just like you've been doing this for 5 or 6 years and then all of a sudden you just have this like responsibility that you didn't have before. It's all very weird. For lack of better words.
No, I can totally understand. Like, I guess when you're like, for me being on clinics at the moment, the vets ask you questions and stuff, and it, like you get things right, but you also get things wrong. But it doesn't matter so much when you get it wrong because they'll correct you. Exactly. But if you're the vet, it's like this is all on you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, if I screw up, then you know I'm pretty screwed.
But you talk about mentorship a lot on your Instagram. So I assume you've got a good mentor?
Yeah, I've been really lucky. So I have like an official mentor. But then like everybody around me is so experienced and good that like, you know, they're all kind of my mentors. And I think that's super important because like when you're like there's not much difference between like a newly graduated vet and a 5th-year vet student, you know, like it doesn't like magically happen that you're just all knowing one day, and so you're still unsure about everything and like protocols and things like that, and so it's really good to have somebody to like bounce ideas off of. And I'm really lucky because I have so many people like that at work where I can just like go behind the scenes and be like, please help because I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that's fabulous. So was that something that you really looked for when you were interviewing, or what?
Yeah, definitely, because I've heard so many like horror stories where people like are basically left alone on their first day, and then they're like, that's obviously a drastic one, but I've definitely heard people like where that happens and they're like, oh my god, I have no idea what to do, and they're stressing out, and it just like ruins the experience for you. It just makes everything so stressful and horrible. So I definitely had like, that was like my like number one tick list for, you know, that job search.
Yeah, I think that's really smart, definitely. Would you say that the biggest tip you could give a new grad is to find somewhere with a good mentorship program, or do you have other tips as well?
Definitely that's my biggest tip, because like it's so important. Like I cannot stress enough how important it is to feel supported. But just like finding, like, don't be afraid to be picky. Like I guess right now with coronavirus it's a bit different, but like we're I think we're in the UK, we're the number one most employable graduate or something like that. Like it's ridiculous. So like people want to hire us, so don't be afraid to like know what you want. Like if you don't want to work weekends, then don't work weekends, or if you don't want to work out of hours, then like don't, you know, like you're gonna have to make compromises in some places. Like don't have a 20-page list of things that you want, because that's unrealistic, but definitely have like a few things where you're like set on, and you're like, because you need to be happy in your job, otherwise it's just going to be depressing every day.
Yeah, I think we kind of forget that we need the job, but they also kind of need us.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're talented people who've just graduated, and they like, there's a shortage of vets. So despite however many people graduating every year, like there's a sort of shortage of vets. So we definitely have that power of being like, oh, we, you know, we don't want to do after hours, or we don't want to work Fridays, and we, you know, things like that.
And you went into small animal practice, right? Is that what you always wanted to do, or did that change throughout vet school, or what?
No, it's definitely what I always wanted to do. Like, I definitely have that like passion for marine animals, as you know, with the whole vet thing. But
Girl.
it's not, yeah, that's not like a thing that you can do straight away. But I was always definitely like cats and dogs, and not really farm or horsey. So I kind of survived that through vet school. But I was never really passionate about it, let's say.
Not everybody is, so that's all good.
Well, you know, you got to have people who like things and different things, and
exactly. Do you guys see bunnies where you work?
A little bit. Like I know it's illegal in Queensland to own bunnies unless you're a magician. I think that's the rule.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Which is random, but yeah, we definitely see some. But the difference that I found here is that we see a lot with Mixo, whereas in the UK we don't have Mixo because it's vaccinated against. Whereas obviously here they're pests, so we don't want to vaccinate against things that can make pests survive. So that was something really interesting, but we definitely see them. So yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I saw a couple of bunnies while I was on placement in New Zealand, and like the people would be like, oh yeah, we've got a bunny coming in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, a bunny? I don't know what a bunny is.
It's like some mythical creature.
Exactly, that's it. 100%.
Yeah. What did you think of the bunnies? Was it?
I think they're really cute little animals. Unfortunately, the one that I did see though, like had some neuro thing going on, like far out. It was head pressing and like tilting and spinning in circles, like it could not stand up. The poor owner wanted to like keep trying, but I was like, I don't know what you can do with this thing. So that was the one bunny that I really see, which was a bit unfortunate, but I did see I saw another one and it was way better, so that was all right.
But, okay.
Yeah. Definitely very cute animals, I reckon.
They're really cute.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to be staying in your small animal practice, but you do have the love for marine animals. Yep. Do you have any future plans to move into marine animals? Or?
Yeah, definitely. I've been kind of doing like online courses with marine animal medicine. I was supposed to do a day at the aquarium, but obviously with coronavirus and everything, it got cancelled, which is completely understandable. But hopefully going to get some more work experience and things like that in that area, and you know, in the future, like it's kind of more of a long-term plan with you know, like not 2 years down the line, but maybe 5 years down the line to get just more into it, because I really want to hone my like surgery and medicine skills also as a side thing.
Yeah. And in terms of your surgery, did they kind of like throw you in and be like, you can do a spay on your first day? Or how did that work? Did you have surgery days? What happened?
So it's been a bit weird because we've been understaffed and then there's been coronavirus. So I haven't had a lot of surgery days, unfortunately.
Right.
But the like general plan is that you have a dedicated surgery day.
Okay.
And then on that day, you have a dedicated older vet who's also on surgery so they can do things and, you know, like let you. So on the surgery days I was basically, I like told them, I was like, I can, you know, like some surgeries I can do without anybody scrubbed in, so like the castrates and stuff. But like a dog spay, I wouldn't be confident without somebody hanging around at least. So they basically just respected my wishes and they were like, we'll just go with what you want, which was awesome.
Sounds like you're in a really good place. It's like awesome to hear.
They're amazing. Yeah, they're so good. Honestly, they're so supportive. I'm really grateful.
Yay. And okay, so obviously vet is a huge part of your life, but I'm pretty sure you have hobbies outside of vet as well.
Vaguely.
So, yeah, haven't you started some hobbies now that coronavirus is coming? You want to tell us about them?
Yeah, so I really like dancing. So I don't take dance classes now, obviously, for that reason. But I just got Just Dance on PS4.
Amazing.
So I spend a lot of time doing that and just perfecting my dance moves, if you will. Getting those 5-star ratings. And I like going to the gym and stuff, and I have like regular personal training sessions now because there's no gyms, so I have like video call personal training sessions. And I've started baking, which was the thing that I didn't do before this pandemic. So I made bread, which was crazy. Some cookies and lemon drizzle cake or loaf, I guess. But yeah, so, you know, like things to keep me sane. Puzzling also, I really like not even during these weird times, I just like it generally. So back in second year, we used to have a dinner table and there would all just constantly be a puzzle on it because I was doing puzzles.
Love it. Did you see there's like a 51,300 piece puzzle by Kodak or something?
Kodak, yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, I need to get my hands on that. I don't think I have the physical space for that size puzzle. Like it's just too big.
I know, I was trying to imagine like what they would fit in and I just can't.
I got like a brochure of the Ravensburger puzzle brochure thing of all the puzzles they have, and they have measurements on the back of like how many pieces equals how many centimeters, and I think the like 41,001 is 6 meters by like 2 meters or something. Like it's ridiculously large. Yeah,
that's crazy.
You need like a mansion.
Actually, although I did see somebody had done one of those. I saw it on Facebook. They like during coronavirus, that's what they did. So they must have had a mansion.
Yeah. Or just an entire spare room for a puzzle. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on this today. I think everybody likes to get to know you more and hear more about like what life is like outside of vet school and being a new grad and everything. I know for me, I definitely appreciated your little like study post that you did while you were at vet school. That was so great to, you know, when you like read it, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense now because somebody else explained it. I appreciated those. And then also like now just seeing you navigating being a new grad, it's quite inspiring to be like, oh yeah, like you can do it. So
it's not impossible.
Yeah.
If I can do it, anyone can do it, honestly.
There you go. So thank you so much. I do want to wrap this up and ask you one last question. If you weren't a vet, what would you be?
I reckon I'd be a teacher. Just because I really like teaching with my study method and everything also. And I used to do one-on-one tutoring, or maybe I'd be a tutor. I'm going to rephrase that. I'd be a tutor because I really like one-on-one teaching and like just the ability to teach people. It's just really nice. Like, I don't know, it's just like rewarding also. So yeah, I'd be a tutor.
And would it be of any like ages or what?
I think any age. I'd probably do like math and the sciences. I don't think I'd be able to do like geography and economics and stuff. But I think any age would be fine. I think I'd be able to handle the older ages a bit better than the younger ages, just because I'm not great with kids. So I think any age would be okay.
Yeah. Nice. Thanks again. You are my first guest, which is very exciting, getting this going. So yeah, cheers, and
Having me.
yeah, love you lots.